All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the Las Vegas Raiders. Let's get straight to it. The Raiders were missing their two best players in today's game, Max Crosby and Davante Adams. You can analyze it any way you want, but let's be real, it wasn't the most glamorous or eye-catching win. If you watched the game, you know it wasn't a perfect performance. But a 26 victory at home against the Cleveland Browns? I'll take it. This win comes right after a tough loss at home to the Carolina Panthers. Fast forward a few weeks, and no one's going to be nitpicking about this result. What matters is that the defense stepped up, and although the run game still needs improvement, the team got the job done. The quarterback didn't do anything spectacular, but he played smart and did what was needed to secure the win. Honestly, games like this one are the kind that the Raiders have lost for 4 straight seasons. So I'm going to enjoy this win and embrace it. Before we dive deeper, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for daily Raiders and NFL content. Let's try to get this video to 100 likes. It would mean the world to me. As I mentioned, the Raiders are dealing with a lot of injuries on defense. But we're about a month into the season, and almost every team in the NFL is facing the same challenge. Everyone's missing key players, but it's all about finding ways to win despite that. Let's break down how the Raiders pulled off this victory. The Raiders had a tough game today, with multiple players missing due to injuries. Key players like Max Crosby, Malcolm Kunze, Divine Diablo, and Marcus Epps were all out, making things difficult right from the start. The Browns quickly took advantage and were up 10-0 in the first quarter, but the Raiders' defense managed to turn things around, finishing the game strong. Now, I'm not saying the coaching or play calling was the best. There's still room for improvement. And while our quarterback isn't the top in the league, everyone did what was necessary to get the job done. We'll get into the details of the run game in just a second, but it's clear it still needs work, especially with Zamir White. Despite that, the rest of the running backs showed solid performance. Defensively, the Raiders really stepped up. They held the Browns scoreless for 7 consecutive possessions. And we have to give a shout out to Snowden, a fourth-year defensive end. He had never played in a regular season game before this year and was even released by the Raiders during training camp. But today, he sealed the win with a game-ending sack. Just when the Browns were threatening to score, Snowden made the crucial play that secured the victory. We should also acknowledge Cleveland's kicker, Dustin Hopkins. He missed an extra point late in the game, which kept the Raiders ahead 20-16. If he hadn't missed it, we might have been looking at an overtime situation. But my favorite part of this game? The running back performance. Despite the setbacks, the Raiders managed to pull through and deliver a much-needed win. The Raiders quarterback had a modest performance today, completing 14 out of 24 passes for 130 yards, with no touchdowns or interceptions. But I don't think these stats truly reflect how he played or what the team was able to achieve offensively. When a team loses its star wide receiver, like the Raiders did with Davante Adams, it's expected that the offense will struggle, and the quarterback's numbers will take a hit. With Adams out, Jakobi Meyers stepped in as the primary receiver. He caught 5 passes for 49 yards on 10 targets. Trey Tucker also contributed with 5 catches for 41 yards. Unfortunately, Brock Bowers didn't see much action. He only had 3 targets, finishing with 2 catches for 19 yards. In fact, only 4 players, Jakobi Meyers, Trey Tucker, Harrison Bryant, and Brock Bowers, caught a pass today. But the running backs showed some promise. Alexander Mattison had 5 carries for 60 yards, including a solid 24-yard run. Zamir White, on the other hand, struggled a bit. He had 17 carries for 50 yards, averaging just 2.9 yards per carry, even when you consider his longest run was 17 yards. It seems like White might lose his spot to Madison soon, which isn't great news for those who have him on their fantasy football teams. However, there were a few bright moments in the running game. DJ Turner scored a beautiful 18-yard rushing touchdown, and Brock Bowers made a crucial 12-yard first down run. Trey Tucker also found the end zone, scoring a rushing touchdown. Even with the absence of Davante Adams, the Raiders managed to make some plays on the ground and secure the win. Offensively, the Raiders had struggled to get their running game going for the first 4 weeks of the season. But today was different. They ran the ball 29 times for 152 yards, averaging 5.2 yards per carry, and scoring 2 rushing touchdowns. It was a refreshing change of pace, thanks in large part to players like Alexander Mattison, DJ Turner, Brock Bowers, and Trey Tucker, who all contributed, even though they aren't traditional running backs. But let's talk about the defense. This unit is the real deal. Even without one of the league's best defensive players, Max Crosby, the defense showed up in a big way. Trayvon Morig had a beautiful interception, Luke Masterson made 6 tackles, and Matteo Palomalu recorded a big sack. The defense was all over the Browns today. Christian Wilkins, who joined the Raiders this past offseason, didn't light up the stat sheet but made his presence felt. He recorded half a sack and assisted on a tackle, but his impact was visible throughout the game. The Raiders' defense did a fantastic job containing Deshaun Watson and the Browns' offense. Watson only managed to throw for 176 yards, averaging 5.5 yards per completion, with just 1 touchdown and an interception. Even though the Browns ran 22 times for 92 yards, which is an average of 4.2 yards per carry, it's important to break down those numbers. Jerome Ford, their main rusher, had 10 carries for 58 yards, but 35 of those yards came from just one run. If you take away that big play, the Raiders' run defense was solid all game long. In the end, it was the defense that led the team to victory today. This was just a quick recap of the Raiders' win. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for daily Raiders and NFL content. Let's try to get this video to 100 likes. That would mean the world to me. And let me know in the comments who your player of the game was. Peace.